So this is our GoTo Resolve product. It's the remote management and monitoring of devices, laptops, PCs, servers, etc. But also it allows IT admins to also manage mobile device management devices in here as well too. And what I'm able to do is a variety of different things, from doing having a full inventory of all those different devices. This is a demonstration environment, as you can see. But I can provide, as an IT admin, provide remote execution with those devices that I have. I can push out updates, provide antivirus, have triggered alerts if devices are being changed or manipulated in there. Also integrated into it is our support tools. So if you know us for Central or Rescue or GoTo Assist, I have the ability to start a remote session with an individual and provide them with remote support. Here is an example of our mobile device support that you can see in here too. And we even have a camera share, which allows the IT admin to remotely access that person's iOS or Android and utilize the camera to show what it is that they might be looking at, or and to aid them. Again, great tools for IT administration. There's also a built-in help desk and ticketing system into it as well too, that you can see here, so I can generate tickets. I also have inventory or asset management built in here as well into it. So it's got really a vast features and tools for IT admin. So you can, kind of summarizing, as you're having discussions with IT, maybe there's not a UCAS or CCAS opportunity. Well, maybe you can talk about, hey, how do you remotely support? What is your ticketing system? Are you supporting the servers and PCs, but also laptops or mobile devices and tablets? This GoTo Resolve product will allow you maybe another way to kind of become more sticky with your IT contacts that you have and that you're having discussions with. Any questions that you might have? No? Okay. And please feel free at any point, if you'd like for us to do a deeper dive, we can set up another time to where we can really kind of peel back and go into some of the level of detail to do a really technical deep dive for you if you'd like. The next tool that I'd like to show you is our Microsoft Teams. This is our embedded Microsoft Teams tool that we have. Can you see that here? Suzanne, can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Thank you. This is for, again, for those IT folks that you're having discussions with. This is our embedded cell phone. What this does is allows customers to make and receive phone calls. However, they don't have to have all of the Microsoft licensing that goes along with it. And what I mean by that is, if they have the basic Microsoft Teams that they're utilizing it and don't have a dial plan behind it where they're making and receiving calls out to the public switched telephone network, this allows them to do so using our PBX really behind the scenes. And we're not trying to replace Microsoft Teams. We just work together as a team. For example, some of the features that Microsoft Teams doesn't provide, as an example here, if you look in the upper left under the dial, I have the ability to send and receive fax, which Microsoft Teams doesn't provide. I have the ability to also, through the inbox, as you can see here, I have the ability to send text messages, which Microsoft Teams doesn't normally provide. Those might be features through a third-party app that you'd have to download here through the Microsoft Store, but that requires additional subscription cost. In our case, we're able to provide it because it's normally part of our platform and you're utilizing our PBX on the back end. So just to kind of point out to you again, here I have the ability to make and receive phone calls. If I click dial, it brings up my dial pad. So I can easily make an outbound call to someone just simply by clicking call. and they'll give you an idea of what that looks like. And let's see here. Let me just click on that again one more time. Oh, gonna have to refresh. That's quite all right. Let's move on. Let's go into voicemails. Voicemails are integrated as part of the unified communications. So any voicemails that you receive will also be sent through the email distribution system. So if you use Office 365 or Google on the back end, I'm not only going to get a file attachment, but I'm also going to get a transcription that will follow along as well too. The same is true for faxing. So if I send or receive faxing, it's tied into unified communications. I receive that through my email, a confirmation the fax went through as well. And then in addition, SMS texting. So with SMS texting, I also get an integration into the back end of unified communication. So I receive texts through my email system as well too. And what you're looking at here is you're looking at also, this works across the contact center. Our CCAS contact center, it allows them as an agent or as a supervisor to utilize our contact center, those robust features that we have on the back end, to also utilize it as well too. So the Microsoft Teams, they can remain in Teams, all in a single pane of glass, but they have more robust features and functionality. And it doesn't require all of the costs of the Microsoft subscriptions and the dial plans that are normally necessary. Any question that you might have? No? Bueller? Bueller? Okay.
Hey,
If I
John.
keep waiting to the very end, John.
Yeah, we save it for the end, that's why.
That's quite all right.
Thank you.
Now, let me show you a little bit of our soft phone on our UCAS platform. So if we look at the UCAS platform that we have here, this is our soft phone. So it looks very similar to what you've seen before, maybe in the Microsoft Teams application, but the icons are located over on the left-hand side here. So again, I have all those features of being able to make and receive voice calls, the ability to do faxing. I have the ability, obviously, to continue to do texting as well too. But I also have the ability to integrate into other channels that your customers may use. For example, if they use Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, if they have chat bots that are on their website, for example, if you have customers that are utilizing that or would like to find different digital channels to reach out to their customers to drive revenue or create new opportunities, they can capture that through our contact center tools that we have in here. And again, they're really built across the platform itself. GoTo Meeting, which we're using today, that's the video channel. So they have not only the ability for voice, for texting, for faxing, for SMS, but also they have video as well as social media. So again, you know, hard phones are great, but they don't have the rich and robustness that really a soft phone allows an individual user to use in their normal day-to-day workflow that they have. And then again, our contact center, which you've seen briefly before in the Microsoft Teams, but this is what it looks like in the soft phone. So here I'm at an agent level, so when I can log in or log out to the different types of channels that I have. Notice this is a call queue, but I have also the ability, if you look down here, I have Facebook inbound sales. I also have SMS chat, and I have web chat as well too. So again, a variety of different channels that you can engage their customers with. And really, it's all about how customers want to do business today. I think COVID really increased the usage for many businesses today to utilize things such as texting that's out there to engage with them as well too. Finally, I'll show you some of the rich robustness of the analytics that goes into play here into the contact center. So if I'll click on the contact center here, what we have now, again, all in a Chromium-based browser, I have the ability right here in the call reports. One of the many things that was a new release today is our AI summary and transcription. So if you look at our call reports, when you go into, what you're seeing is a summary and a filtered summary. I'm just searching on a particular phone number, 9601, because I created some interactions that I wanted to show you that reflect the new AI summary. And that's how we're utilizing AI technology. Just an example here. So if you take a look, you can see if I click on the call report here, what I'm going to see is a breakout of the AI summary, which is here. So our AI, OpenAI, it simply does a transcription or summary transcription here of the conversation that took place between the agent and the caller. And then I also have transcription, which transcribes all of this in an individual phone call. So they can go back and look at it. And then finally, I can see details. I can see the customer journey, where the call started, what time it came in, how long it rang, and then what it connected to, and then hung up as well too. So again, an example of how we're using AI today in the contact center environment for our customers. Any questions on that? Then I'll move on to another new feature, which is our average handle time in our contact center. So with agents, measuring agent performance is really, really important. So if we go into the agent performance board that we see here, what we're able to look at is, again, the KPIs, the key points of information that are important to them. They're summarized here, showing the agent that took the most of the interactions during this filter time period and the agent that took the least. And then it breaks them down with handle time comparison, again, giving the supervisor and what's the health and what is the performance like of the staff that I oversee in those call queues. And then it breaks down with the individual performance summary. This is a new report that's just broken out. And it breaks down again other important KPIs that are relevant to a supervisor. Hey, handling contacts is what I want you to do. I don't want missed ring attempts, and I want a reasonable SLA for ring time and talk time, etc. These, again, important measurements or metrics that I want to look at. And then if I look at further down, I can see a workload summary that's broken down in here. Again, across the columns that we have. And then finally, this is a new report that's come out too, the handle time analysis. So handle time analysis is these three key components. It's talk time, hold time, and wrap time. So it breaks those key components down for a supervisor to see, again, how are my agents performing within the contact center. And then finally, we have a summary of all of the agents and what queues that they're associated, broken down by hourly for them for that particular time period. So again, I can look at people that are, hey, am I active? Am I on hold? Am I at lunch? All of those statuses. So I can look into and gain that insight into performance to look for any indications of potential problems. And then finally, I'll go into some of the AI sentiment. Again, we're applying it at the queue caller level. If we go into the queue calls, what we're able to look at is and let me just expand this to a 30-day time period, because I want to show you the callback requests. Again, callbacks are very important to a contact center. If you think theoretically, if I have 5 agents that are able to handle calls and I get a 6th caller that calls in, I want to be able to offer a good customer experience. So one of the things that we can do in our contact center is provide that feature by allowing them that 6th caller to be presented with an estimated hold time, their position in queue, but also if they would like to receive a callback without losing their place in line, we can do that for them as well too. Very popular in contact center environments. And again, KPIs that are very important. I want to know handled. I don't want to see abandoned. And again, this is a demo environment, so it's kind of extreme. But if I go down further, here's how we're utilizing AI. We're utilizing AI in a couple of different ways. So we're looking at keyword search. We're providing AI summaries as well too. And we're providing sentiment as well, the health of the call. And we're doing that at a real-time level with a supervisor dashboard. Here, for example, this is the analysis. We can click on that, and what we're able to see is these are keywords that were identified as negative overall sentiment within the contact center. And I can further drill into them to look at specifics as well too. So if I drill into this particular call, let's go to a minute, 7 seconds, where we got a little bit of meat and potatoes. I can see down below, I can see the topics that were detected. That was part of the keyword search. I built a tone detection where I put in keywords and key phrases that may come up during a conversation. And what that ended up doing was it flagged it under the complaint. And these were the keywords that were drawn out of it. And that's why it's determining it that it is a negative sentiment. And I can click on it again. I can get insight further into certainly the customer journey that I have in here as well too, along with a summary, an AI summary. So we can read the AI summary here, and then we've got these statistics as to the topics that came up as to the reason why it was graded or reflected as a mostly negative call. And that allows me as a supervisor to go back, to listen, to provide critique, do quality analysis or quality monitoring on my staff, those agents, or even call the customer back if I want to call the customer back to try and have it handled. Questions?
John, just
That's
a time check. We have about 5 more minutes, and I know we're going to want to leave at least 1 or 2 at the end for questions. So please proceed.
No, that was it. Those were the key topics that I wanted to really kind of cover today.
You're awesome. Thank you. Well, Team ACS, what questions might you have? I do see I can start with Patrick's in the chat. John, he was asking if the transcription and summary feature was only for contact center service, or can you add it to regular UCAS seats as well?
Yes, the AI summary, the call reports is non-contact center. It is an add-on SKU. So if the customer wants the transcription and the AI summaries, what they would see is not the agent or queue, because those are contact center specific. But the call reports is not. So if they want the advanced call reports with AI, they can certainly get that. Yes. Good question.
So call reports, but transcription service is not, you're not able to
It is
access
included.
that?
It is included, yes. So
It's
if you look at
included.
the
Okay, so
right.
sorry, John. So question. So we use GoTo right now. Are we
Yeah.
able to toggle that on and add that on our account so that we can use it to summarize calls with agents or with customers? So we can take that summary and then we can either revert back to it if we forget something that we need to do, action item, or just let the agent know, hey, this is what we went over. Or here's your action items, here's my action items.
Absolutely. So you can add that in. For example, here, if you look, here's Advanced Reports Analytics. I switched to the admin portal. So if you go to your admin portal, we can have that added in for you. And that's what that looks like. And that's what that Advanced Report and Analytics that I was showing you.
Awesome.
So
can you guys add it into ours so we can have like a
yeah.
demo account and that way we can kind of sell off of it?
Yeah, so I'll look and see if it's your demo or your in-house account, but I can have it added. I'll work with partner ops on that. I just made a note.
Thanks, Suzanne.
Yeah,
That's
and
a really cool
when
feature.
you start using that, Suzanne, it makes a big difference. We're using it and we're saying it to agents. They're like, oh, what's that? Like, oh, that's what we just proposed for your customer. Go to. So yeah, I think that'd be great if you can add it. We're using it. It's automatic. They're automatically learning it, right?
Perfect. I'll submit that request. What other questions might y'all have? Anything related to the Teams app? That usually comes up with a lot of questions.
Okay, yeah, I got one for Teams. I know that in the past, some UCAS providers had more of a seamless approach where they could call right out of Teams if they're in Teams, rather than open up another platform, right? And then call. It seemed a little clunky.
Okay.
are you able to do that, or do you need to have GoTo's platform open and then dial through GoTo's?
No,
Do you
we
see-
Does
have
that make sense?
3 different ways that you can utilize Microsoft Teams, right? So I'm just signing out of this. I was going to show you our direct routing, which is SBC to SBC. So that's more of the native. If they already have made the investment with all of the licensing, and they want to remain in Teams and use MS Teams for meetings, but they want to save a little bit of money on utilizing our PBX on the back end, because reliability and cost by utilizing Microsoft's Teams, and I'm just clicking on Teams here, if you can see that, and show you our session border controller, or we call it direct routing, right? Direct routing. So it's a link between the Microsoft SBC and our SBC. But if Microsoft SBC goes down, our system remains up and running. So you don't go down. You might lose your Active Directory, which is a Microsoft product. But you can see here, here's the native call that you have, integration into the calendar as well too. So you can use Microsoft Teams video as well too, but all the icons are there. You don't lose any features, although you don't have SMS and you don't have faxing. So you do lose those capabilities. Yeah, but
Okay,
this is
so
our.
if these guys are like in their traditional teams and that's how they usually operate right now, and they call out of Teams or message out of Teams,
Right.
nothing
Right.
would change on their
No.
perspective. Like GoTo would just be
You're
kind of the, the
We're the
powerhouse
back end.
behind the call.
Exactly. We're the
Oh,
back
so
end,
typical
PBX
text
for them.
faxing.
Exactly.
better
Right.
together.
Right. We're just offering, some customers don't have the full-fledged licensing, and in those instances, maybe the embedded soft phone may be a better way for them. But if everybody has been trained and they've made all the investments and used to paying for the licensing, fine. This is another way that you can, potentially you can lower their cost because Microsoft Teams traditionally is a few dollars more than what our pricing is. And we're more reliable as well too.
Good point.
Well, we know Microsoft's been trying to go at it for a long time, starting with Skype, right? And then now they're in here, but they're not a carrier and they don't want to be a carrier. So, I don't see them really bringing in a contact center component or bringing in SMS or faxing components. They're probably going to leave that to third-party apps in order to do that. They only have a dial plan because they do it as a courtesy for their customers, but they do charge, and they charge a pretty penny for it.
What other questions, team? You've got the guru here, our go-to
Yeah,
guru.
so I got another one for you, John. So to contact center seats. What I know that GoTo is kind of our play, like if customers like, hey, I got a small contact center, I don't have the budget for $100 a seat or whatever, five lines in contact any of those guys
Right.
are charging.
Right.
What kind of like, what's the basis, start out price of a basic contact center seat, which may put you in that conversation, and then also is there a minimum amount of seats that
No.
you guys need to?
Pricing, typically, I don't get into the pricing. That's more of a Suzanne or an AE, a salesperson. I would say it's probably, just taking a swag at it, it's probably around $45.
Fair.
And generally, go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing. So that's in the ballpark. So it can range because it could be, less users, more users. So it can be a little flexible, but a $45 is probably a really good budgetary number.
Yeah. And I came from Genesis. I worked for 5 years at Genesis, so I know contact center really well. A cheek in the seat and with a contact center, it's going to run you, at a minimum of at least $100, if not more. With our solution, you're going to find it's probably going to be about half that.
Thank you for that question. Any
So,
others, team?
I really appreciate both of your time today. So I love the digital sales room that you proposed or composed, I guess I should say, for us internal. And in addition, aren't you replicating that for all new GoTo Connect opportunities for like viewable, docs just for
Yes.
Yes.
client
Yes.
entertainment?
Right,
It's
PJ.
probably, you're probably not going to see as many digital sales rooms from the small business team, but maybe you will. But for mid-market, absolutely, enterprise, absolutely, strategic, yes. It's almost like, because that's one place that the customer can go, the partner can go, and the rep can go, and we don't have to keep going back and forth with all the emails. So the recording of the demo can live there, the quotes can live there, all of the supporting materials, collateral or whatnot. It's all in that one place. So yes.
Can you show us that quickly? Do you have any kind of like visuals to show us kind
Well,
of
I have
what
yours.
that would look
Yeah.
like
So let
for
me
like
pop
a
into
given
yours.
client?
Absolutely.
Cool.
No, I'm happy to. I am sharing my screen. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I will send a link so you all can access it. But this is basically, the go-to room for ACS Cloud partners. We can customize the side. So for example, I added, ACS incentives. So there's your lead challenge. Here comes your spiffs.
Sure.
But you can, maybe we want to bop down to, we just talked about Teams. So I'll go down there. So here's a video, the new Teams integration we have. Here's a supporting document. Maybe we're talking with the client, gosh, what's coming next on GoTo. So we recently had that our release day. So on August 24th, we released 70-ish, probably plus new features. So that's a guide for you all. That's a partner friendly guides. You can share that. Maybe you've got questions about, John just talked about contact center. So here we've got, some information on the AI. We've got a data sheet. This is our contact center complete, a data sheet. Perhaps you've got a client interested in, SMS. And so that's the customer engagement platform. Anything you don't see, though, perhaps you'd like to see a demo video on all things Connect or whatnot. Just take a peek in here. I'll send this link to you after our call. But we can add, we can subtract, we can make it, very interactive. So you just let us know it started, certainly, and it can be, modified.
Sure. And then, but like on the client facing side, so they would see, do you have anything like, for example, what they would get to see?
So, well, it's the same thing. So let me see if I can find one. The difference I would think is, maybe does it have their quote? Does it have the recording of the demo that the client just saw? Let me see if I can find one real quick. I'm looking for an old one.
Does it have like kind of current clients that are comparable within given verticals?
It could have a case study, absolutely. So perhaps it's I was just looking for one that might be dead so I can share it with you. Because I don't want to share active ones. Let's see. Yes. So it would have, so maybe it's an auto dealer. And we've got, the Larry H. Miller case study that we've got, or maybe it's a school and we've got, comparative schools that they could potentially see. So absolutely. It can have so many different things. Here's one.
Because that's so much more palatable than like, hey, this is your line item here.
Right.
This is your MRC, this is your pro install NRC, etc.
Exactly. So
So
here's one of your agents. So I'll show this to you. So here's one of your partners, NCG. So here's one that we did for a client. They had Proactive Med Center. This is a little older. Actually, it's not so fancy, but it has, a demo summary, probably a bad example. I was hoping it would have, here's the demo or the quote that we did. So here's their quote. Perhaps we didn't get to the demo phase because I don't see a recording of that. But we put in some stuff for the implementation. So the worksheet that they'll complete, the number porting form, and then here's their quote. So we could see what did their quote look like.
Yeah.
But yes, PJ, it could have lots of different things in there.
Sure.
The other thing it could have is a mutual action plan. So a lot of reps like that. So now we've done the demo, we've done the quote. So mutual action is like, is the customer going to bring it back to their stakeholders? Are we going to do a second demo? Like there's a plan that you can actually put in. So it keeps everyone just kind of up to
I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely longer sales cycles, so it's great to keep everyone in check. So that's good.
Yes. And the only reason I said maybe not so much on the small business side is because a lot of their sales are a little bit more transactional. So are they creating a room for every 5 user? Probably not. But sometimes we'll do the demos, we'll go back and forth. Maybe they're a small site and they're talking about, let's start with the small 5-seat, but maybe there's more to the pie. So I could see in different instances, and I have seen them certainly, but I would see, I just see them much more on the mid-market and the enterprise side.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. I think that's very, just viewing to the eye, helps.
And so
great.
easy. And why didn't
Yeah.
we always have it? But we have it now.
Suzanne, that link that you were just showing, do we have access to that through, it's not through Partner Exchange, it's through something else, right?
It's not. I'm actually going to send you the link after our call. So I'm going to
Oh,
send you
cool.
your flyer for your lead challenge, and then I'll send you the link to your own room. And all you need is your email. I've enabled it where it's like at ACS PS, was it? Is your domain. So it's just anyone who has your email domain can access it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I'll shoot that
Thank
over
you.
in a couple minutes.
I have a question, just what, I guess what it's called or verbiage. Like when we were doing the sentiment analysis on the contact center side, and we saw all those little circle icons bigger than the other, some are bigger than the other on the negative aspect of, what is that called? Like those little, is that just called sentiment analysis or?
It is, yeah. It's
Okay.
sentiment.
Okay.
It's, yeah.
But like
Really,
the bubbles itself or the little keywords, that's what it's called. Yeah.
well, yeah. And also in the supervisor dashboard, there's a real-time trigger. So you can build um, different triggers to show in real time that come up. So it takes about a 25-second uh, component of the recording. And through OpenAI, it does an analysis and also looks for those keywords as well too. And what it will do for the supervisor is bring up a flag in real time so that the supervisor can react appropriately to recover the call. With automotive, the voice channel is 70% of their business. And to them, it's an average of $2,000 to $4,000 per call, meaning that's potential revenue to them. So they stress that the voice is really, really important. And so when something is going awry or they're losing a potential customer, or it's not being handled, or it's being abandoned, that's really lost revenue for them. So they want to know right away, and they want to address it right away, but hopefully before the customer hangs up, right? So, healthcare, cities, those are other areas that utilize a contact center. You wouldn't think of it, but I don't know where all of you are based, but I'm in Southern California, and we've got a city called La Mirada that is like many other cities in that La Mirada has a theater, they've got a huge pool they call a splash zone, they've got tennis courts, and so that's where the contact center fits really, really nice for them, is that they want to be able to take reservations during the summer when they have those theater events that are going on. Tennis courts, they want to take reservations for it as well too, along with splash zone in addition. So you'd be surprised where contact center needs are really going to be identified and being met. It's really just asking about whether or not they have a need. Higher education has that need too, especially universities during admission, because they get hammered. And so their internal IT department is also a contact center, but also the admissions as well too. So again, it's just kind of doing discovery with it. And those are typically mid-market or really enterprise level or above.
That's great info. Good info. Appreciate it. And
I've got
just
it.
going into just the IT management side and showing, the GoTo Resolve aspect and some pre-qualification questions to help us.
Yeah.
It's another thing that really sets you aside. So it's great to see that visually.
And hopefully the GoTo Resolve being another tool. That's where we're kind of different than the dial pad and the rings and the Vonage. As LogMeIn has a lot of IT admin or trying to make IT admin jobs easier for them. So the UCAS and CCAS may be one part of their role, but certainly managing and monitoring all those devices as well too is a real challenge for them.
The thing I like most about your GoTo Resolve platform is the ability for you to use a cell phone camera
Yeah,
to show the
yeah,
agent on the other side of the phone, like
It's
what's
huge.
going on with the topography. Like there's plenty of times where I've called Eric, like I can't make my monitor work. I just
yeah,
can't make it work. And
yeah.
it would be easy to have that tool. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think that's a really cool aspect that you guys offer there.
Every time
It-
we demo that, it's an add-on, but I swear, I feel like every time we've demoed it, somebody is adding it on. Like it's so smart. And it's
Yeah.
so easy.
It integrates into the UCAS and CCAS platform too. We have a section in that platform for UCAS and CCAS where they can see all their trouble tickets. So they can move remaining in a single pane of glass when they get a trouble ticket and help resolve that. So that helps with deployment too when they're trying to deploy UCAS or CCAS or just support day in and day out.
Absolutely.
I've got a really quick question about customer engagement. Is that only offered on your contact center platform, or is that an add-on to regular UCaaS seat as well?
It can be an add-on to UCAS. Yeah, you don't have to have
Okay,
contact.
great.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of times in lieu of. They want to do campaigns, they want to do certain things that traditionally contact center would do, but now with customer engagement, they don't need to add the contact center. They can just have that customer engagement portion. So cost
right.
Great.
savings and way more functionality
Oh yeah.
for those campaigns.
Provides them with a single inbox so they can get not only voice but also the other channels too. So if they integrating SMS or doing surveys, it's all in one inbox that can be shared by all the agents, or they can make it private as well too.
Appreciate you sharing the option in the middle for everyone, and then
Yeah,
you hide everyone button. I didn't know that, so that's good to know for future kind of webinars. We've been at GoTo, but I didn't know that was a thing. So thanks for that. On a separate note.
Sure. Any other questions? I know we've kept you past our allotted time, so we appreciate you. But any other questions as we kind of wrap up? PG, you're all pumped.
It's
David, you're
Friday.
always pumped.
It was a long, quick work week,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. It was long and went quick.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Well,
yeah, I appreciate your time, and yeah, thanks. I think it'll be great for us to have that shared information, the deck that was recorded, and kind of break that down, put it on our portal, and I think that info and pre-qual questions and visually seeing it will go a long way.
awesome. And we're here for you. So if we want like a kind of a subsequent session, if we want to do a deeper dive into anything, we are always here for you. So just raise your hand and we'll get that scheduled. John has access to all of the tools, as you can see. So sometimes you might have even a partner on the phone and they're like, hey, I want to know more about X or Y. Just let me know and we'll get that scheduled and we'll dive in.
Cool, it's great.
Okay.